Here at the F1 Debate Show, we would like to offer our support to Billy Monger,
the British Formula 4 driver who suffered a life-changing incident at Donington Park.
His family has set up a fundraising page to help him overcome his injuries. The link is in the description below.
And our thoughts and prayers are with himself and the family.
Welcome to the F1 Debate Show. We kick off the silly season early.
We talk about all the action from the Saké International Circuit.
It might only be round 3, but we're going to start talking about silly season. Yes, guys, that's soon. It's only round 3, but we are going to start. We are going to start the F1 driver rumours for 2018. And one of the drivers that we are going to be talking about in today's episode is a driver who's featured a lot in the probably in the last 6 or 7 episodes. We've talked about the team, we've talked about himself, and we've talked about a certain sport he's going to be entering during the Monaco Grand Prix. That is obviously Fernando Alonso. We can't go an episode without talking about this guy. You know what I mean? For all the wrong reasons. But in this week's episode, we're going to be giving a little bit of credit, I would say, because this week he's been rumoured to go back again to Renault. Yes, guys. So you're probably thinking, Why is he going to Renault? Well, as you all know, he's got a bit of a love-hate relationship with McLaren at the moment. He's not happy there. Everything's going wrong for him, as we've already discussed in the previous episodes. So he is linked to go back with the team that he won both of his drivers' world championships with, and the only time that team has won the constructors, obviously under Fernando Alonso. Now, Alonso has said that in 2018 he wants to be at a championship-winning team, so he wants to go to Renault. So he's not going to be with the 2018 championship winning team. No, guys. I mean, this is the thing that I want to talk about first of all, because quite frankly, for me, Renault are in the process of a rebuilding phase. And even though their form this season is better than last season, I don't think that Renault are going to be up there to actually challenge for a championship. Now, I might be speaking too soon here. I don't really know, but obviously Alonso isn't going to win a championship with McLaren anytime soon. Alonso's ambition, he wants to win a 3rd world championship, as well as win the treble, as he has quoted in the past few weeks. He wants to win a 3rd world championship. And obviously, and also apparently as well, he's held secret advanced talks with Renault, who actually do want him to partner alongside Nico Hülkenberg. So just briefly on the Renault thing for a bit. I want to bring Lyle into this quite early, because I want to know, right, briefly, Alonso wants to join a championship winning team. So why does he want to join Renault? Can you actually see Renault being able to give Alonso a championship winning car, and then maybe, obviously say if he wins the championship in 2018 somehow, to then give him a seat for another a year or two, and give him even more than that, give him maybe 2 world championships. Can you actually see that happening?
Well,
or is that just make believe?
I don't know. He's got a better shot than McLaren. Obviously, McLaren are definitely not in the championship fight. You can definitely say that much. But Renault, they want Fernando back. I mean, obviously, a driver who give Renault obviously their most recent world championships. Obviously, amazed and we all know Fernando Alonso's stats and credibility in Formula One. They want him back. They want to move forward. Obviously that's why they got Nico obviously into the team for, kind of replacing obviously replacing Kevin, and kind of spacing out the team from we're not just going to have rookies now in the team. We're going to have obviously as I say, Nico Hülkenberg. I think Renault definitely want Fernando Alonso, but the chances, the actual realism that they can get a championship winning car, especially for 2018 and onwards, is maybe a bit sceptical. The other thing also as well, John, is just that they're looking out and they're thinking, well, Fernando, it's almost like as McLaren, kind of decrease, it's Renault's gain, if that makes sense, because obviously as McLaren go down, Fernando's going to go down. He's going to think, what are you doing? Come on, guys, I don't want to be in this rubbish team, as we sink. You know what I mean? You're not going to stay on a sinking boat. You know what I mean? You're going to get out straight away, and that's the thing. As soon as McLaren sink, Fernando's going to want either get out or he's going to want to sink with them, which obviously of course he's not going to want to do. So then as McLaren sink, it's Renault's gain, as he'll want to go there. So to be honest, if Renault hang in there, they could snatch Fernando at the last minute. The chances of Fernando going there, I mean, it really, you never know. I mean, we thought Nico would never leave his pride and joy Force India, did we, John? But there was one thing talking And I think towards the end of the season, and obviously this season, really, I mean, people don't really associate it that much with him. But when he moved, we all thought it was this one thing. And what was that? It was money. So Fernando going there, we don't know. But the thing is, I mean, the championship winning car, malarkey, that, I don't know, they'll have to sort that out on their own. But as McLaren think, it might be Renault's gain to bag him as he moves up, as he moves on and up. But I mean, Fernando just needs to stay in Formula One. It depends where it doesn't matter where it is, either McLaren or Renault. But seeing him in yellow in the Renault cars again, and obviously with the team from Enstone, that would be good to see. Because obviously, it's like almost like a throwback to obviously what Fernando Alonso was like, more than a decade ago, obviously when he won his first and second world championship in 5 and 6. So Fernando and Renault would be good, but I mean, anything's got to be better than Fernando at McLaren at the moment, John.
Exactly. I mean, obviously, come to think about it though, it could be a bit like what Michael Schumacher did when he joined Mercedes. Well, obviously, when they first came into the sport, they weren't really like a winning team. Obviously, they were midfield team, obviously, but in the rebuilding phase, and everyone knew that Mercedes one day were going to be up there. They didn't know when. It could have taken 1 year, it could have taken 10 years, it could have taken 20. We really don't know. So Michael Schumacher sort of helped that out, and then Mercedes were just learning as they went on. Now look at them, multiple world championships, multiple drivers world championships as well. Obviously, you've got loads of records in Formula 1, making themselves one of the best teams that Formula 1 has ever seen. And Renault, over from 2016 into 2017, sacked loads of people and employed I'll probably say like even more better people. Like I think I seen something where they had about 600 people back at base. That then got them reduced to 450, about 450 that mark, and then now apparently it's going to go up to about 800 probably in the next year or two, and getting rid of all these these annoying whatever. You don't know what you're doing. Get out. There's the door. Get out and bring
young folks.
The youth of the day.
The ones that sorry John, the ones that obviously when they like last year, when they came in, replacing Lotus, they were a bit of like a team, a bit like Haas at the end of the day, who were like pouncing around, not really knowing what they were doing. But again, and I also like Haas as well. So to be honest, obviously Haas and Renault, to be honest, as long as they stay in Formula One, they're always going to be on the same wavelength. Let's just let's just kind of establish that they are always going to be on the same wavelength. You have the same amount of kind of drives, you have the same amount of budget. They are really very really similar. So obviously Renault last year were kind of like a rookie team and that, so they will have had like more of a rookie kind of, not laid back, but more of like like on the back step, like we want to move forward but we're not sure if we can because we are a rookie team. This year they are much more aggressive. They feel like they can be. Obviously, as I say, they've got Nico Hülkenberg, which to be honest is probably their like biggest export, if that makes sense. I think Nico Hülkenberg really drives Renault forward. I think yes, you've got Jolyon Palmer, yes, you've Enstone, yes, obviously you're one of the most successful kind of back ends. Obviously Enstone, as a name now related, not just a town in Great Britain, it's now related into Formula One. Obviously you've had many drivers there, you've had many teams there, you've had a great legacy. You're a yellow and black car. It just doesn't matter about all of that. I think Nico is the thing that drives Renault forward, and they're definitely now coming out of like that rookie era to push on. And obviously this year they've been incredibly serious because, as I say, like Haas, but obviously we're not talking about Haas at the moment, we're talking about Renault. Renault want to move forward, as I say, not just a rookie team, they want to move forward as an aggressive team now and break out of that. To be honest, that kind of, if you look at the championship, like like fifth and below, they want to get up to the the fourth places, the podium places, battling Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren, Mercedes. My God, I got there in the end. Mercedes, like teams, even McLaren. Williams, and obviously Nico's former team Force India, but they want to be beating them. They want to see them in the rear view mirrors, but they want to definitely be moving forward. They are not a rookie team anymore. They're as I say, they're a more aggressive, more forceful team, and that's what they were doing. I don't want to say they were shaving the dead weight off, but they are more of an aggressive team now, which is good to see from them. They're they're on the front step now, which is obviously great from Renault.
It is as well, because obviously, from a Formula One fan's perspective, it is very sad to see Renault doing badly, because obviously they've had very big success as a team and also as an engine manufacturer. Probably more as an engine manufacturer than a team. However, we have had some glory days with Renault in the sport. But also as well, when it comes to glory, it comes to some controversial moments, which is what we've seen in Singapore 2008. So I think Renault want to get rid of that, and hopefully that will never happen again. But for Fernando Alonso as well, he's come to the end of his 3-year stint, his 3-year contract rather, at McLaren. He signed a 2-year contract when he signed, with the option to extend, which is what he did for this season. So obviously he's going to throw his hat in the ring to be involved with silly season. You know what I mean? So obviously, again, I might say to him, okay, he might leave McLaren. He might go to Force India. He might go to Williams. He might go to Haas. You don't know where he's going to end up. He might not even be in Formula One. But saying that, I think he does. Alonso does want to be in Formula One. He loves the sport. As like I said before, he wants to win a third world championship. However, but then again, Alonso has to think, right, there's nothing going to Red Bull. There's bound to be nothing going at Mercedes, because, I mean, obviously Hamilton's staying there, but Bottas is under a 1-year contract, but I think they're going to look for younger options, because if they get Alonso in, it's going to probably be in for 1 year, perhaps. And obviously, I doubt he'll go back to Ferrari after everything he's been through there. So, again, there's nothing really going for the big teams, but then again, if he does go to Renault, he can probably help them progress, and then maybe make them into a great team one day, because I think Renault will get there. I just don't think it'll be next season, which is what Alonso, like you said, he wants to be with the championship winning team. But speaking of championship winning teams, Ferrari, that's the one, isn't it, Lyle? And when it comes to, obviously, at this stage of the season, obviously we like to discuss the F1 merry-go-round. And one of the drivers, obviously a bit like Fernando Alonso, who always gets brought up at this time, is Kimi Raikkonen. Now, as we all know, he shouldn't sign a 1-year contract again with Ferrari for 2018. Surely not. I mean, good driver, but he has passed his best. 37 years old, oldest driver on the grid. Come on, Raikkonen, make way. So obviously, I think as like we said before, or what I've said before, and probably what a lot of fans have said before, is that Kimi Raikkonen should leave in 2017. This is the year that he should say, right, that's me, I'm finished, and I'll see you all. I'll see you all in a bit. So who is going to fill that legendary seat alongside 4-time world champion, potentially 5, Sebastian Vettel, one of the drivers that always gets brought up to go to the big teams, but hasn't, is Mexican driver and current Force India driver Sergio Perez. Now, he has pulled off some amazing drives in recent seasons. Obviously, 2016, I would say, being his best. Yeah, some brilliant podiums. Obviously, not quick enough for the wins, but I mean, some amazing drives. Loads of driver of the days. I think he won last season for us. He won, what was it, 3 driver of the days? I think
something like that. Yeah, something like that.
Driver of the days. He won a lot,
really well.
and he won for us. He won driver of the season. I don't think he won. Yeah. I don't think he really won driver of the season. I think Max Verstappen won driver of the season.
Max Verstappen did, but to be honest, I mean, obviously Max's win in Spain was legendary. But brilliant, obviously, Sergio Perez, as John just said, Sergio definitely amazing. Monaco's podium was really amazing, and Baku's podium, that obviously we all saw from his emotion and his points and blah blah blah. And that's when talks like this kind of escalated. But yeah, you're right. Obviously, if Max wasn't in the picture, he would have won Driver of the Year. Exactly. An absolutely amazing performance. And we've always said this about Sergio, and I've always said this as well. And that basically after McLaren, after 2013, and that. He always needs to progress, and is this the year that he could be moving, up and on the up, maybe to stay at Force India, but possibly not, John.
I mean, obviously he's not a rookie anymore, and he's not a race winner, but he's got potential. But I would say for that seat, if Raikkonen does decide to pull the plug on the Ferrari project and he goes, I think it's going to be a battle between him and Giovinazzi. So obviously Giovinazzi, Italian driver, Italian team, it makes sense. He's done a couple of tests with Ferrari, which we'll be talking about in this episode. And obviously, again, as I said, his roots Italian, it fits. A young prospect driver as well, and he's also raced for Sauber. Did some good races, not so much in China, but that's all done now, isn't it? But obviously Ferrari have got to think about this to go, right, do we take experience with Sergio Perez, or do we take the future with Giovinazzi, the potential with Giovinazzi? So, but then also again they have to consider that possibly Sebastian Vettel might want out, and he might go to Mercedes in 2018. We don't know. We've seen how surprised the transition between 2016 into 2017 was, with Rosberg retiring, Massa coming back, Hulkenberg joining Renault, K-Mag joining Haas. It was like, whoa, hang on a second. I thought he was supposed to say that, which is how we started episode 38 of our first episode back of 2017. So I'm gonna give my opinion. Obviously, I'm gonna pass up to Lyle on his opinion. Obviously, as always, leave your opinion in the comment section below. Will Alonso join Renault? Will Perez join Ferrari? And I think Perez isn't going to go to Ferrari. I think he might have talked with them. I just think Giovinazzi, he fits the bill. Now, I've been ranting and raving about Giovinazzi because I'm excited about this kid, and now I'm not going to take one side, because I'm happy for both of them to get the drive. I love Sergio Perez. I love the way he drives. I love Giovinazzi 'cause I love the potential he has. I love the young drivers coming into Formula One. I just like it how, and again for me as well, going a little bit off topic here, I like it how when like for football wise, I love it when the young kids come in who got brought up in that area and play for their home team. Essentially, not like getting like these Spanish, Italian players in from other countries, getting the young, the young English, talented, homegrown lads in, and Giovinazzi would be like that with Ferrari, Italian, obviously heritage in Formula One, obviously being a part of the Ferrari Young Drivers Academy. It just fits. It just fits, and I really do hope Giovinazzi does get that seat. I think he will. I don't think Perez will get it. I think again this is just a bit like, okay, let's put Perez in this, because again his contract runs out at the end of the season, and again he's going to have his hat in the ring, as well as Fernando Alonso and probably several other drivers as well this season. But for me, Giovinazzi should get the Ferrari seat, when Kimi Raikkonen decides to retire. I mean, do you agree with that, Lyle? Just final word on this topic.
I mean, no, not at all. I think Sergio Perez will get it. I think he is a really amazing driver. Definitely someone we're watching, as I say. One driver of the year. One driver of the year for me, and probably for you, Jordan, like in your head, but obviously yes. I know we've said verbally that it's Max Verstappen. Really, really strong, really great driver. I mean, obviously he wants to be a force and he wants to move forward, but obviously no one will say no to a driver at Ferrari. Definitely really amazing. And let's say if Kimi Raikkonen leaves for next season, because obviously, I mean, we're not sure. I mean, obviously this last season we said that Kimi was going to leave. This season we said that then obviously, so we're not too sure. But Sergio Perez is a very strong driver, and Antonio Giovinazzi, I mean, obviously he's strong, but he's not a Formula 1 driver yet. Obviously we saw that in China as well. It just wasn't great for him. Obviously crashing twice. Which obviously isn't a good trait in Formula 1, Pastor Maldonado. But you need, to be honest, I mean, obviously, I know that, I mean, Sauber are kind of a junior team too. Ferrari, obviously, Sauber Ferrari, that obviously drivers will go through that and train through there. So I was thinking, what if, obviously, obviously, it's strange that Pascal Wehrlein obviously went to Sauber. We kind of discussed that at length, what he was a Mercedes driver and went to Sauber. But if Ferrari were serious about keeping Giovinazzi, okay, I know he's their third driver at Sauber, but why wouldn't they want to keep him on? And I don't know, I just feel like they could have, shuffled the decks a bit more to where that Giovinazzi could have a bit more training in Formula 1 and then move up to Ferrari if he was going to. And again, there's no talks, there's no Sergio Perez hasn't said that he will go to Ferrari. We're just saying that he probably wants to. Obviously, he was leaving their season last year.
Nothing's been said.
Yeah, we're just stirring rumours here.
Yeah, we're just pushing the F1 transfer merry-go-round a bit,
like we do, like we normally like to do. But no, Sergio is a very strong driver, and I would love to see him in the red at Scuderia Ferrari, absolutely amazing, alongside Sebastian Vettel. It would be a really unstoppable force. And the thing is also, if Sergio Perez was going to go to McLaren in 2013, a big team at that time, not now. And also as well, when you do look back at it, you might think to yourself, well, no, hang on a minute. Sergio Checo didn't have a bad season at McLaren. Of course he didn't. McLaren had a bad season for Sergio Perez because they did. It's 2013, for God's sake. I mean, we all know how bad it was. It was obviously it was terrible. 2014 was a bit better, but obviously 2013 was better than 15 and I don't know, bordering 16, and we'll have to see how 2017 gets on. But what I mean? So that's the thing, when you look back and actually think about it properly, have a proper sit down and think. Sergio Perez didn't have a terrible season at McLaren 2013. It was only the unfortunate situation that obviously Checo was driving a rubbish car at that point, obviously, and also as well it was rubbish from a now standards when you look back, but then also it was terrible from that standard because obviously McLaren at that point, they'd won obviously some 3 times in that year and won the last race obviously in Brazil, looking like a great force. When Hamilton left, Sergio Perez was going to be the young guy that was obviously going to be Lewis Hamilton Mark II, and people were really excited about that. But no, if Sergio gets another start and goes to Ferrari, I think if Ferrari have the good car, which obviously they probably are, like they are this year so far, touch wood obviously, it's I think Sergio will do well at Ferrari. If Kimi Raikkonen goes for next season, and obviously when he does in the future, Sergio will definitely get that seat. Antonio, he will move forward in Formula 1. Jordan, I am agreeing with you there. He is a good driver. He's a promising driver, but not Ferrari, and especially not Ferrari before people like Checo and things like that. I mean, even like Verline and Nasser, I believe, have a better shot to get to Ferrari, because we've discussed that in other episodes. We've said that, you know, the Formula 1, it's easier once you're in Formula 1, once you're kind of in that loop, it's easier to move up, you know, from there. I mean, how many other drivers do you see in lower categories skipping around Formula 1 teams as much as the Formula 1 drivers do? But Perez at Ferrari would definitely fit the bill. I've got to say, I'd be very happy to see that happen. The first in-season testing of the 2017 Formula 1 season kicked off in Bahrain at the Sakhir International Circuit after round 3, which was the Bahrain Grand Prix won by Sebastian Vettel, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Now, the first day, which was the Tuesday, was the fastest time was Lewis Hamilton in his Mercedes AMG Petronas car. He did a time of 1 minute 31.358 after 97 laps. Now, the Mercedes looking very strong, but we'll get onto them and what they did in the race. This is all ahead of the Russian and the European season ahead. Another just more mileage for the drivers to do. In second place was Antonio Giovinazzi, and he is quite ironic as well, because as you remember in part 1, we were just talking about him. Would he go to Ferrari? Now, basically, you know, well, I mean, there we go. He is driving for Ferrari at the moment. So obviously, you know, that's a big indication. Obviously, pre-season, in season, we always see this kind of thing happening where people will be tested, you know, stepping in free practice session. We've definitely seen that before, like when Jolyon Palmer's driving in the Lotus and things like that. In third place was Daniel Ricciardo. Fourth place, Romain Grosjean. Fifth place, Felipe Massa. Sixth place was Nico Hülkenberg, and seventh place was Lance Stroll, the man who is on 0 points and 0 finishes at the moment. Very unlucky for him, but it was still good from him, and he was a 1 minute 33. In 8th place was Sean, now please forgive me for this pronunciation, Lyle. He drove for Toro Rosso, the Polish driver. Now, basically, he has just come from, well, I haven't heard of him. Jordan hasn't heard of him. We, you know, where's he come from? But you know, I mean, he could be there soon, I think. Ninth place was Sebastian Vettel, the winner of the Bahrain Grand Prix. In 10th place was Jordan's mate, Alfonso Salas Jr.
That's for another episode.
In 11th place was Marcus Ericsson, and in 12th place, last place, was a new British driver actually called Oliver Turvey. Oh my god, that was a bad pronunciation. I thought I got that nailed. That was a 1 minute 35 in the McLaren car. Just another driver to stand in, and another British driver as well, which is good. I'll just quickly read out day 2 as well. Now, it was quite good. It was quite, you know, this was quite good result as well. Now, Valtteri Bottas was the man to top the first place. Now, he did 143 laps. Now, that is absolutely staggering as well. That's almost 3 race distances. That is really, really good from him. He did a time of 1 minute 31.28 dead. Incredible. Now, obviously he'll be the first driver we'll be talking about from the Bahrain Grand Prix. Obviously, that happened on Sunday. Really great from him. Obviously, definitely shows that, you know, definitely kind of puts in perspective why he got pole position on Saturday with that amazing, absolutely stinker lap. Now, almost 3/100th of a second behind him was Sebastian Vettel in 1 minute 31.574. He did only 64 laps in the Ferrari. And in third place was a man who, to be honest, has been quite quiet until we just mentioned him. Now is Carlos Sainz, don't call me Jr., in the Toro Rosso at 1 minute 31.884. Fourth place was Stoffel Van Dorn in the McLaren. Thankfully, they've actually got a high position.
Whoa. So, did you just say P4?
I think I did. P4, is that right? No, there's not a 1 in front of it or a 2. No, it's P4. Wow. Wow. Oh my god. As I say, I've actually said that. In 5th place was Kevin Magnussen in the Haas. 6th place was Esteban Ocon in the Force India. 7th was Daniel Kvyat in the Toro Rosso. 8th place was Williams' new driver, Gary Paffat. 9th place was Sergio Sirocco.
Best, guys.
Now, 8th place was Sergio Sirocco. Sorry, 9th place was Sergio Sirocco, obviously a driver who we've mentioned quite a lot, a Renault driver. So again, you know, if Fernando doesn't snatch up that seat, you know, watch your rear view mirrors, because this young kid from Russia's coming through. 10th place is my good friend Pierre Gasly, Red Bull driver from France.
He knows him well. He knows him well.
I do. I've got him on speed dial, or speedy dial. And 11th place was Pascal Wehrlein in the Sauber. He is, doing well. He did well in his first race in Bahrain, which is good to see. And obviously, in the in-season testing, 11th place wasn't great for him, but still, it was good to see him back on the track. And the last driver, the only driver in the 1 minute 35s, was last place Sergio Perez, doing 70 laps, doing a 1:35.15.015. And now they were the 2 days from the Bahrain in-season testing, John. Now basically those results they were kind of stand out only for one driver, and this is the driver I'm going to kick off with, and we're going to kind of roll into what happened in the race as well, and that is Valtteri Bottas. Now what Valtteri did was absolutely spectacular. That lap, the 143 laps, almost 3 races, so that was really great from him. That time was absolutely spectacular. Now obviously we all remember on the Saturday as well, getting pole position, beating Lewis Hamilton was, to be honest, in the rivalry between Valtteri and Lewis, in the rivalry between whoever and Lewis, this is like an unbelievable moment. This is like for example, this is like Bahrain 2014 when Lewis and Nico had a little bit of a squabble on track. This was like the first oh my word, what is actually happening here? Like, we are witnessing something amazing, and we were. Valtteri Bottas actually beat Lewis Hamilton. He got it first, and Lewis actually knew that Valtteri got pole position heading into about sector 3, had a bit of a lazy sector 2, and he had a chance to kind of rectify that and beat him, and he didn't. So Valtteri had beaten Lewis Hamilton. It was absolutely spectacular, and that especially day 2 just showed how much of an absolutely strong driver he is. John, so let's start off with Valtteri Bottas.
Yes.
Also from the in-season, but also from the race on Sunday. it was very spectacular from him. He's definitely showing strong. And the question I'm going to ask to you is he, I'm not saying becoming Nico Rosberg, because obviously nobody wants to become Nico Rosberg. No one wants to, kind of mimic another driver. They want to be their own driver. But is the rivalry that Lewis and Nico had, is that coming through in the shape of, obviously, Valtteri Bottas?
I don't think it'll be as intense as it was, because I think the only reason why Rosberg and Hamilton was intense was because they've always had a rivalry throughout their careers, whereas Bottas and Hamilton haven't. So I don't think it's going to be anything special. I don't think it's going to be. I don't think we're going to be watching Rush 2. Valtteri and Lewis anytime in the future. But Valtteri has been under a lot of criticism lately, because apparently the people are saying that he can't keep up with Lewis Hamilton. Fair enough. Hamilton is a brilliant driver. Honestly, probably the best British driver we've ever seen, and definitely one of the best drivers in Formula 1 ever. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of him anymore, but I'll credit him as much as I can, because honestly, what a driver he is. And Valtteri Bottas, as I said before, I think Bottas has got too much expectation on his shoulders, because he's Finnish, and we've seen what a lot of Finnish drivers do. Finish the race, obviously. That's all I'm saying. But no, seriously, we've seen what Hakkinen can do, what Raikkonen can do, what Kovalainen didn't do, what Keke Rosberg did do.
I'm sure you like that.
Oh, he'll love that. Hickey, call me. But no, I think, obviously, Bottas being at this seat, he's been given this golden opportunity that no other F1 driver can have right now. So he's got to try and, he's got to try and prove that. What's so funny about that?
I'm just laughing. Hickey, call me.
Hickey, call me. You never know. Hickey, call me, Linen. Okay, right. Moving swiftly on. Jokes in there for the bitch, which is absolutely tremendous, guys. No, seriously. But I think Bottas got the pole position. Now I'm gonna ruffle a few feathers here, because I'm gonna say he was lucky that he got the pole position lap. Oh yes, because Lewis Hamilton mucked up on sector 2 and sector 3. But I think he's fastest sector 1, I hope, and lost out in sector 2 and sector 3. And he was obviously wasn't close enough to get pole position from Valtteri Bottas. Brilliant for Valtteri Bottas though, for actually going, okay, right, I've done one part of it. Now onto the race. And that kind of didn't really go to plan, because obviously he had low pressure in his tyres, which obviously gave him away from Lewis Hamilton and the race winner Sebastian Vettel. Now Sebastian Vettel didn't really make that much noise in the test. Obviously, when it comes to in-season tests, nobody actually really gives a damn, to be honest with you, because when pre-season was on, everyone was like, oh, covering this, Carlos Sainz is 2 tenths away from Sebastian Vettel, he's going to win the World Championship. Whereas now it's like, ooh, Stoffel Van Dorn's P4. Cool.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
Everyone else was. I wasn't.
Well, he was John, so basically, this was, I'm trying to think, I think it was 2015. Was it 2015 Abu Dhabi? Am I getting that right? I think it was. Basically, Stoffel Van Dorn actually was fast. That was it, 2015. Yes, that was right. So at the end of 2015, and obviously McLaren had their worst season for you know how bad 2015 was. I don't have to tell you again.
You don't.
No, I don't have to tell you twice.
Don't tell me at all.
and that did happen. Yeah, that did happen. I think Stoffel Van Dorn, their test driver at that time, obviously incredibly young, and that actually did. He pulled out the fastest time at Abu Dhabi, and that that was like if Fernando Alonso, Jensen Button, take note what is actually happening.
It was
I know that happened before and stuff.
Yeah, it was obviously it was like, seriously, we've had that season and we pull out that lap time, seriously. But obviously we'll discuss Stoffel in a minute. But I want to mention Sebastian Vettel because, like, obviously I'm not going to mention much about testing because, as I said, he didn't make that much noise. However, in the race, he won the race 2 out of 3. Brilliant start to the season for Sebastian Vettel. However, Mercedes did struggle a bit in the race. Sebastian Vettel won the race. Was he lucky? Was Sebastian Vettel lucky? Do you think, Lyle? Or do you think he won the race because, it's Sebastian Vettel, he's a 4-time world champion. He can do what he wants. He's a good driver. What do you think?
No. I think that Sebastian Vettel won the race because he is the stronger driver. Lewis Hamilton is an unbelievable driver. We all know that. And the fight that he did was really amazing. He definitely had the team on his side, the team orders and things like that. Going past Valtteri was probably something that, Lewis Hamilton, I think he has a bit more credibility doing. Move aside, I'm actually can catch him. It was strange how much they built him up on the telly. I've got to say, it was like, oh, hang on, we have our secret weapon. Are we actually going to release it? It was a bit odd in that way, but no, Sebastian Vettel was very strong and he wanted that win. There's also one thing that kind of gives it away after he wins is all the emotion that goes on the podium. Now, obviously, I mean, it really, it almost does bring like a bit of, like a little bit of a sniffle of joy, like to see obviously Ferrari on the podium and then you hear that, that German and Italian national anthem. I think Sebastian's even got more like, more like, more like energy when the German national anthem comes. I know that sounds strange, but when he's on the podium, I think he just loves Ferrari more, and obviously we've established that a lot more. He had a bit of a gap where he didn't win, obviously like last season, but now he's back, and no, he wanted that win. I'll tell you why he wanted that win, John, because now he is at the top of the World Championship. That's why he wanted that win. And every single time Ferrari win, the flag goes up in Maranello, and basically a country and a Formula One, family is being lifted because it's not just a Mercedes driver going on top, but no, out of everything that you just said, Sebastian Vettel wasn't lucky, and I solely believe that he wanted that win. That is all he wanted. That was like his life goal.
I'm going to throw you a question here. Now, this is off topic about the race, but I'm going to say Mercedes, they've won 1 race in 3. Their worst start since their dominant era. Is this season's car the worst car that they've had?
I was going to say, I mean, you're right. That does make sense.
It is
on a little point of view. But I don't know. I've got no idea. But the thing is, this year they've just got more competition. That's the thing, though, John, and that's almost like a bit of like a rebound question to you. They have more competition, or I believe that they have more competition. The margins are like squeaky tight. For example, like we said that about that last year. That is a lot of it is obviously thanks to, well, actually this year it's all thanks to Pirelli, I'd say, from the tyres, because obviously they're a massive factor in it as well. We always know that tire degradation, things like that, really, can like help or lose a race for a driver and things like that. But no, the margins are squeaky tight. It does make sense from what you said on the little point of view that they're right. This is like the worst car that they've had, of course. But so there we go. There's your like rebound question, John. So is it just because are Mercedes the same as they were last year and the year before and the year before? But this time they have obviously got a competitor who's not just behind them, but and not just breathing down the necks, but on the necks, shoving them out the way, and actually giving them a run for their money. And obviously it's actually showing now that Mercedes are falling behind an actual competitor.
Yeah, I think Mercedes are scared, I would say. Because actually, well, maybe not scared, but they're just a bit like, okay, now what do we do? We've actually got somebody who's challenging for the title as well. Like, what do we do? We're normally like winners at this stage by round 3 already. I think obviously, if you look back to 2015 when Ferrari had their last threat, when Sebastian Vettel won the race, nobody expected Sebastian Vettel to win the race at all. He won it because I don't know how he won it, but then again, probably on sheer pace, I would say. I don't know if it was strategy. I can't really remember the race a lot. but I think it was because he got some sort of burst of pace. Then Ferrari sort of fell off the pace, throughout. Whereas this time they've actually kept up with Mercedes, and by the looks of it, they're not leaving their sights. And well, yes, as like I said before, Mercedes, they're like panicking. Like there's a massive like. It's gone mental back at HQ, back at Brackley. It's like, oh my God, Ferrari, they're doing better than us. What do we do? Like, when was that? I think did they lead the championship after round 2? Was it Ferrari?
In what year? Last year?
Yeah. No, this year. They were ahead.
Yes.
They
were. Yes, they do.
They were first because I can't really remember, which is annoying because I was like, because I made the banner on our page, so I was like, I should know that, but I can't remember. I was going to say, okay, the Mercedes haven't led the World Championship this season, but I kind of really, I don't really know. But
you know what I mean? Like a Mercedes driver hasn't. I know what you mean by that.
Yes.
That would be interesting to see. So, Jordan, I want to give you my last question of this episode. And don't cry because my last question, by the way. My last question is, Sebastian Vettel,
Yes.
He, as you know, round 1 in 2013 was won by Kimi Raikkonen in the Lotus. Round 2 was Malaysia, won by Sebastian Vettel. And Sebastian Vettel then stayed there till the end and obviously won the World Championship. In 2013, he won the World Championship in the United States and obviously did, load 13 in a season and 9 in a row. So basically the question is, now that Sebastian Vettel has the lead of the World Championship now at round 3, do you think he is going to run away with it? Because obviously, well, we all know that there's been, obviously, Lewis Hamilton has, ran away with, obviously, 2014 and 2015's World Championship. That was a close fight, obviously, last year, Nico Rosberg, but it was an internal Mercedes battle. Then, obviously, the previous World Champion was Sebastian Vettel. So do you think he's going to do the same as round 2, get it one round, and then we won't see it again until he lifts the World Championship?
Now, I don't know. I think it's going to be Hamilton, Vettel. That is the rivalry we've all wanted to see. Now, when Sebastian Vettel, obviously, when Kimi Raikkonen won in Australia 2013, that was a brilliant race by Lotus. Got the strategy spot on as well. Obviously, I think did Red Bull finish? Did Vettel finish in P2 that race?
Yeah.
Yes. So obviously again, Lotus got their strategy right. The car was really, really quick, and obviously Red Bull didn't really respond. From then on, obviously Sebastian Vettel led in Malaysia. But really, there was nobody that challenged Red Bull at that point. I mean, Ferrari and Mercedes at the time, yes, they could have. But Mercedes only won one race that... no, they didn't. I'm lying. They won 3 or 4 races that season. I'm just thinking about Hamilton's win. Sorry, Hamilton only won 1 race that season. Rosberg won the rest. But, I mean, obviously, Ferrari, the car was better, but it wasn't as quick as the Red Bulls. Mercedes' car was quick, but it wasn't as quick as the Red Bulls. And then Red Bull just sort of, went away with it. And obviously, I don't know what they did over the summer, but they must have got some sort of like nitrous boost or whatever on the car because they were gone. 2014, nobody could challenge the Mercedes. Same again, 2015. Ferrari had a chance, but Ferrari fell off the pace. Like everybody just was like climbing for that. Oh, we can get this. We can get P1. Then it just sort of fell away, gave up, got lack of energy. Ferrari this season haven't. Ferrari are actually going for it as well, and are Mercedes. So I think this season is going to be it is going to be like a 2012 season. However, not as competitive because 2012 was like the last proper season where we've seen teams going like here, there, and everywhere. Where
7 different winners in 7 different races. It was
exactly Red Bull
unbelievable.
Obviously, from 2011, Red Bull were nowhere in sight. McLaren were the closest competitors at the time. It's weird to say that, but again, Red Bull obviously had a brilliant start of the season. Obviously ran away with it. 2012, Red Bull were back down to planet Earth, and that scared them in 2012, thinking, is our reign over? Luckily, won the championship. 2013, they solved all their problems. They were sorted. You know what I mean? They did a brilliant, good start to the season. Even better start to the end of the season. What? Even better end to the season, and then obviously 2014, Mercedes then took over. And they just had a Red Bull 2013. Basically, they was just Mercedes. Red Bull won 3 races. Red Bull were nowhere near. They were very unreliable, as was Ferrari. 2015, exactly the same. Ferrari won 3 races, unreliable. 2016, Mercedes all day, wasn't it? Red Bull, well, Ferrari were quick, and then fell away. Red Bull sort of like, okay, we'll pick up the pieces. We'll be in P2. We were too late because Red Bull were nowhere near as quick at the start. Whereas like now, Mercedes and Ferrari are now quick together. So again, that's how it's going to be fighting, because now Mercedes and Ferrari are at that level now, and let's hope it can stay there. And that's why I think it's going to be Hamilton Vettel. I don't think Vettel will run away with it unless Mercedes have what they did in 2016. Well, Hamilton's side anyways, and had a lot of unreliability. So anyways, guys, let us know what you think in the comment section below about, do you agree with any of the points that we've talked about in this episode. But this is where we're going to wrap up this episode as well. Thank you very much for watching as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe if this is the first time that you've seen us on your screens as well. Also as well, to keep up updated with all the F1 news as well. Join in our debates as well, because we like people joining in. We like people commenting below. Joining in with
if you'd be nice
via tweet or Facebook as well. Exactly. Follow us on Twitter as well at F1_day16. If you do want to interact with us, obviously you just use hashtag F1 debate show. Just give us a tweet if you want to talk about something as well in the comment section below as well. Just do that, and we're on Facebook as well. Give us a like as well.
Yeah, we love bad talking.
we do. Honestly, I think you guys should interact with us a lot more as well. I should believe, if you do like our content, that is. Anyways, guys, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you later.
See you later, guys.